Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are when we did last video regarding objects methods, objects recurse nor null or something like that. So we actually forgot something. The thing is like in this method itself it's actually mentioned since it is Java 9. So I in my previous video I just mentioned is from Java 7 or Java 8. So these things are only from Java 9. So the first method I guess it came on Java 7 maybe, but the Java the recurse non null or else is came on Java 9 I guess. Recurse non null else method. So that's the one. So that's the one added in added in Java 9. Okay, let me create a method here. Public static void string changes string uh, object modification objects class modifications in Java 9. So this is a self-explanatory method. So here I will mention the new methods in Java 9 or additional methods in Java 9. The first one recur no no else method. So in this one we already discussed that things on our last video. For the sake of this video we will add some additional examples. So it will have a string list. Okay, let me supply some string from the probably a list of strings from our main method. So str.list string list. So here is your list and the method start with objects and recurs no null or else. And you are providing this one string list, and if it is null you can have a collection empty list. Okay, so this will solve PSP. This will solve our null pointer issue here. So let's see how it's gonna work in this scenario. So I'm supplying something here. I'm trying to find out if I am passing null, what's gonna happen. But for the example to see what exactly I am returning here. So let me print this one. I'm printing this one straight away. Let's see whether it's gonna work in this case. So if if I am just adding null, we could get an empty one. If I am adding something like arrays as list and then supply some strings, your str2, you can see that also. So it's a little bit straightforward. So we don't need to have that much thoughts, right? So instead of this one, collections, empty list, I guess you can use this one also. There is a empty list one also. This one also works. Instead of method, use this. I don't know whether it's also pointing into the method or yeah, it's just a constant. So that's fine. So we got the result here. So we are fine. So if you're supplying null on both cases, it will throw the null point exception. Otherwise, it's fine. So so recurse non-null else get, that also introduced in Java 9 or else get that we already discussed. So I don't know whether we need to discuss anymore. Let me have an example with the list in this case, and in this case instead of you need to provide else get. So this will not work since it is saying like I'm not supplying the supplier. So if I am providing list of, what's going to happen in this case? What exactly happening here? Will return a immutable empty list. So instead of empty list, so return unmodified list containing 0 elements. So the of list of is the same things that we are having in here. It's almost same, but you cannot do that here because it should be. So if you are clicking here, you can see that should be a supplier. So that's why it's happening. So here, let me run this again. So in both cases, it's returning the same thing. So we are fine here. So that's the second method. Second one, the third one, using check index. So there is another method here. So that probably we can try inside this class. So I will do one thing. I will copy these things here. We don't need to do anything like this here. Just remove that. Copy this second and thing change into 3, and the method is check index. Check index method. Okay. So in this one, objects check index. So how we will check that? So if the index is okay, probably we need the index within the bound of the range from 0 to the length So you are providing the 0 and you are providing the length. So what exactly happening in this scenario is like, so you got the string list here, right? So you got the string list and you are providing the string length dot size, and you need to check whether it's a file, right? So here int index. So let me run this again. So it's saying like 0, saying like 2, and so in the first case when I am passing empty check index, so I am saying like check index is equal to 0. So in this case it's equal, so it's 2. So but this not make any sense for me. So check index, if it is within the bound of the range. If it is not within the bound of the range, it will return index out of. So if you're let me try to explain a scenario. So you can have only two. You can have only the index 2, but the string that you are getting, string list that you are getting is more than 2. In that case, you need to throw an index out of bound exception. So that's why this method is introduced. So if I am saying like should have only index 1, right? In this case, for the first one, it will be okay. For the second one, it will not be okay. So it will throw index 2 out of bound for the length one. So this actually like the null pointer exception throwing. We are throwing the index out of bound exception. So here we don't know the size. Here we know the length we need. So that's instead of you are checking like index. So this is actually replaces if if exception. Okay, so this actually replaces this one. So check index replaces this statement. So that's already changed on that one. Then the other one, check from to index. Check from to index means this method is used if the given subrange from index to index is within the range formed by 0 to length. Okay, so we can have that one. So next line, then we can discuss about that. So check from index. So the index, so if you need to get a value from 0 to 6, so this probably you will know only on runtime, right? So you are getting one value for the start index. Let assume int start index. It should be a dynamic value like 5, then int end index, it should be a dynamic value 3. So just assume this is the scenario. Probably on the, so you know the length always should be 3, but the starting index and the ending index we will supply dynamically. The length is the one that we know. So in this case, what's going to happen? So if I am just adding this one, right? So in this case, first one I got the range 53 out of bound for length 1. So 53 is out of bound. So if you are supplying, let me copy this one again and try to replicate a positive scenario here. Oh, it's not here. I need to be, as already I copied that, so I don't need to copy it again. So here I have the start index, end index. If I am saying like it's starting in the 4 and it's starting on the 5, so since the exception is throwing here, you will not reach here, right? So there's a problem. So what I can do here, 4 and 5 we can have it here. We don't need to do this again here. So here, if I run this one, range 4 to 5 out of bound 4, length 1. So if I am putting 0 to 1, it should work, I guess. Next 2 out of bound 4, length 1. That's fine because it's getting here. Oh, sorry. It's getting on 22. So that's actually the first check index, not check from index. So check from index success for this scenario, check index scenario, but we got an exception here for the second input. So if you are having only this input, in that case also you will not get any exception because this is a default value, so we will not get any exception here. But for this one we'll only check in this condition. So if I am putting 1 to 2, then also you will get an exception, I guess. Yeah, you will get an exception. So these things are to replace throwing exception based on the index values. So if I am saying like 1, length should be 1, should be from 0 to 1. Other cases it will throw the exception. So that's check from index size, check from to index, check from index size. So similar to check from to index, except that instead of providing the upper bound of this from we provide the size and the lower bound of the subrange. So size and the lower bound of the subrange. And 6 means If you are providing 2 and 3, it will return success, and the length should be 6, it will return success. If you are providing 2 and 6 and the length should be 6. Okay, so there was one misunderstanding here. So 1 to 2 starting days, ending days, the length is equal to 1. So the method is if the given subrange formed from index is within the range formed by 0 to length. Okay, so this actually starting from 0 to 1. Okay, so from there was another method that we are going to discuss here. Check from to index. Check from to index. That's the method we discussed. Check from index size. Check from index size. Let me run that. So in this case, exception range 1 to out of bound 4, length 1. Okay, so we are going back to this one. We will fix that. We will run again. 1 plus 1 plus 2 is out of bound for length 1. So here 1 plus 2. So if I am putting 2 here, probably it will be okay. Still it's not 1 plus 2. So probably it will be 3. Okay, so that's the thing. It's a total length 1 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, so 1 will put here, 1 plus 2 put here. So if you put 5 here, it should be 6. So in this case, it should be 6. So this actually the index manipulation. So basically, yeah, it should be 6. So the first index and the end index. So the first index is 1, the end index is 5, total distance is 6. That's something they are calculating here. So first index is 1 and second index is 2. It will calculate 1 plus 2. That means 3. That should be 3. The length should be 3. That's the way these things are working. So if you are taking something from the middle 2 and here 4, what will be this? 2 and 2 plus 4. It should be 6. So in this case it should work. Yeah, in this case this also works. So that's the way. So 2 plus 2 plus 4. That's the way it's working. So thank you for watching. It took a lot of time, but these things are, I mean, just an additional methods. So if we are doing some null cases or check indexes things, these are the ways we can use. Some of the things we have very good applications in our programming, but for some of the things I guess it's just to know this kind of method is available. There will be some use cases in our programming, but not sure. But this kind of things usually we will use. So if you are supplying some null values and else or null values and get from a supplier, in this case, the methods are very helpful. Otherwise, for the check index, this method will be very helpful. It will replace this one, and for this one, check from to index, it's actually start index, end index, and the sum. So basically, whether it's start index and end index falling on the length category, that's the thing. So basically, in a real world scenario, what is the advantages of using that? I'm not that much aware, but for the other scenarios, I usually I I did see these things in my day-to-day life. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.